welcome to my channel, Les Gourmets de Blanche. My name is Blanche, thank you for stopping by. Today I'm bringing you another popular African dish, the peanut butter stew. This dish is widespread throughout Africa and can be made with beef, lamb, chicken, or even smoked fish. In my country, it is called la sauce arachide, or peanut sauce in English. However, the name changes from one country to another. The variations are endless, but the result is always the same: a creamy, flavorful, and delicious dish that can be served with rice, fufu, or any other carb you want. Like I said earlier, there are many variations of this dish, but today I'm going to make it as simple as possible with just the basic ingredients needed to achieve this delicacy. So here is an overview of all the ingredients we are going to use. The ingredient list and the recipe are in the description box for you. So now let's get this going. So here is the meat that we are going to use. It's a mix of smoked oxtail and short ribs. If you are wondering how I smoke my meat, I have a video on my channel. I'll put the link in the description box for you. So the meat is ready. Now let's move on to the next ingredients. I have grated onion, tomato paste, and crushed tomato. I also have a video on how I prep my tomato on my channel. Please check it out. Pure and natural peanut butter, 2 cups of baby spinach, and oil. For the seasoning, I have garlic and ginger paste that I made in my blender, salt, black pepper, bouillon cubes, ground dry shrimp, habanero pepper, and 1 tablespoon of grated onion that I'll add at the end when the sauce is basically ready. Okay, now we can start cooking. First, you have to use a large enough pot to allow the sauce to boil without spilling. I'm using my Dutch oven pot because it's just the perfect pot and it's my favorite pot. So first, add the oil and heat it over medium to high heat. Once the oil is ready, add the onion, saute it until it reaches a light caramel color. Just make sure to constantly stir it, because you don't want to burn your onion. It will ruin your sauce. So usually people dice their onion. I just didn't want to take the time to do that, so I throw it in my Ninja processor to get that texture. We are getting close to the texture and color we want. So next, add the tomato. Cook for 3 to 5 minutes, all while stirring from time to time to develop flavor. So okay, let me tell you something. When I was learning how to cook, and especially African food, I didn't have any patience. Like I would rush through each step, and my mom was like, "Why are you rushing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You have to let each ingredient develop flavor. If I tell you leave it for 2-3 minutes, because you have to let it develop flavor." I'm like, I don't understand. At the end, you add water and you boil everything and you get the sauce. And she's like, yes, you get the sauce, but you have a okay sauce and you have a wow sauce. Because the wow sauce is because of all the steps that you follow. The okay sauce is when you rushing through the step. So anyway, so after you saute the tomato with the onion a little bit, add the tomato paste, garlic and ginger paste, you add a seasoning, salt, black pepper, the bouillon cube, ground dry shrimp, and cook for another 5 to 6 minutes, stirring, taking your time and making sure you develop flavor. This is very important in a lot of cooking. You know, I have made la sauce arachide many different ways, but this specific recipe is the best recipe. And why I've tried many other different ways? Because sometimes I just want to reduce the amount of oil needed to saute all these ingredients, or sometimes I don't want to stand by the stove and take the time to fry or saute each ingredient by adding one after another, taking the time to develop all these flavors. And the result is an okay sauce based on my mom's standards, and I totally agree. Yeah, so when I want to impress my guests with my sauce arachide, I always follow that recipe. Anyway, so once you reach that texture you're seeing on the screen, and you should even just feel and smell it. So this entire process takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So at this time, add the meat. I have, like I said, short rib and oxtail. So because the oxtail takes longer to cook, I cook it in my Instant Pot for 10 minutes and I kept the juice that I'm going to add as well. So once you add your meat, make sure to stir and mix well. Make sure that each piece of meat is coated by the tomato sauce that you have made to develop more flavor. And then once you're done, add the juice of your oxtail if you have any. If you do it following that recipe, at least I'm adding the juice of my oxtail before adding water, which is the liquid that we will use to make this sauce.
So I'm using this.
So the amount of water that you need to add will depend on the type of meat that you are using. So you just want to make sure to add enough water that will allow the sauce to simmer for as long as needed for the meat to get tender but not overly cooked. So for me, I added about 4 cups of water in top of the oxtail juice. So then I'm just gonna let it reduce for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, it's been 35 minutes and our sauce is exactly where I want it to be. So now we are going to add the peanut butter, and we will mix until it's well dissolved. So for me, I'm adding 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. So it's 3 heaping tablespoons. And then add water. Add about 2 to 3 cups of water, because what you want to do is boil everything and give the peanut butter the opportunity to release the strong flavor. In my country, we call that flavor as raw peanut butter. So just give it a time to cook and release the flavor. Note that the more peanut butter you add to the sauce, the thicker your sauce will be. So just add enough to get a very heavy and nice sauce. If you add less, you will end up with a light sauce. So after adding the water, I realized that I needed a little bit more peanut butter, so I added a normal tablespoon. Anyway, do you know that in Africa people make their peanut butter from scratch? They roast the peanuts and grind them to get the paste that is just the peanut butter without any additives. And here I'm so glad many grocery stores offer 100% peanut butter. You know, you go and they have this little machine, you hit the button and you get the peanut butter. So anyway, so add your water, let it simmer for 30 minutes or so. So I am going to completely put the lid on because I have the pot that I'm using has the lid guard, spilling guard with all these spikes. So I'm gonna cover it completely, but if your lid doesn't have that, put your lid the way I just show on the screen. Do this to avoid spilling. Okay, it's been over 30 minutes. Let's check on our sauce arachide. Looking good. Now we can add the spinach, cover the pot, and let it simmer until the sauce thickens. So I always add my habanero pepper toward the end of my sauce because I don't want it to be very spicy. But if you like your sauce spicy, add your habanero pepper when you're adding your first batch of water. Just make sure to reduce the heat to medium-high. At this point, you really don't want to burn your sauce because of the peanut butter. The bottom of your pot can burn easily. You want to really control your heat, taste your sauce to see if it needs any seasoning, and adjust your seasoning. Okay, my friends, we are almost done, so let's check again on our sauce. Our sauce is ready, so all we need to do now is to add our grated onion, the 1 tablespoon that we reserve for the end. So add that, give it a good stir, and let it simmer for 1 to 2 minutes and turn the heat off. Voila! La sauce arachide is ready. Look at this. This is so good and so nutritious too. I'm serving this with 2 options, steamed jasmine rice and steamed yucca roots. Now let's check everything we cooked today. Our gourmet sauce arachide and the sides that we have, steamed jasmine rice and steamed yucca or cassava roots. That's it for today, my friends. Well, on this channel we cook gourmet food. Let's make our gourmet plate. We have 2 gourmet plates today, and here they come. Well, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave me a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and set up the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye. Si vous avez aimé cette vidéo, likez, laissez-moi un commentaire, abonnez-vous et cliquez sur la cloche de notification pour ne pas rater mes prochaines vidéos. Merci et à la semaine prochaine. Au revoir.